Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Phyllis Italiano, and I am the hostess of The Democratic View, which is a show that we do every single week. And today with me, I have a very prominent woman who has had a very busy 2 years as an elected Democratic trustee. Her name is Deb Klughers, and we are very proud of her.
Thanks, Phyllis. Thanks for having me on.
Done a lot in that short 2 years, running up and down East Hampton shores, and actually even further than that if we think about some of the other things that you've done and achieved. So let's talk about some of the things that you have done. For one thing, you had a grant that you wrote, and it's about, I call it Fishing for Energy.
That's exactly what it's called.
Oh, good, good. I'm glad I got it right. So tell us a little bit about that grant and what it did.
Well, it's interesting that you would bring that up because just today I contacted Washington regarding the grant because what it is, it's a way for fishermen to dispose of their unwanted fishing gear, nets, pots, traps, rollers, cans, the doors, I mean anything that the commercial fishermen don't need anymore. And they can bring it free of charge to the Montauk transfer station. There's a big dumpster that's been set up there with a nice big sign that the highway department was nice enough to make for us. And the gear gets sorted into, the metals get taken out and recycled by Gershow, who's part of this. It's more of a partnership than a grant because there's no money exchanging hands. It's everyone is basically giving and contributing to this program. It's been around since 2007, and we were, I'm not sure if we still are, but we were the first port in America to be giving a permanent status. A lot of the other ports would have a day, you know, where the dumpster would be dropped off for a day and the fishermen could come, but, you know, Montauk is the biggest commercial port, you know, in the Northeast, so and, you know, we do have a need to have a way for fishermen to dispose of their unwanted gear. And one of the reasons behind it is so that this gear doesn't get accidentally discarded into the sea and it entangles, you know, marine animals and things like that. And also just to help the fishermen because nets are very, very heavy and very difficult to dispose of, and, you know, there's regulations on nets and all that. So it didn't cost the town anything. But a little bit of time, you know, getting it set up. We had a press conference like over a year ago. And so then the gear gets hauled off up the island to a Covanta waste-to-energy facility. After the metal gets taken out, the gear gets chopped up and turned into energy. So just today I called our highway superintendent, Steve Lynch, and, you know, just informed him that there will be a pickup, you know, probably in the next week or so, and we'll find out how much gear is collected. Last time it was about 30,000 tons of unwanted, you know, stuff is heavy. And again,
wow.
Yeah, so the town was happy to have the program. The dumpsters out in Montauk, the commercial fishermen can, you know, go in there anytime. They don't need a dump pass. That was part of the deal, to just let them come in, and, you know, so yeah, it's a good program. And another, you know, just following up on that, you know, my passions has always been, you know, marine animals and, you know, sea turtles and such, and I've just recently been named to the board of directors for the Riverhead Foundation for Marine Research and Preservation.
Very
so
nice.
I know, and I was so honored, and so I'm so happy to be there, and it's, you know, I'm hopefully will help them, you know, with their goals of research and
Wonderful.
rescue and releasing of marine animals, and they do a number of releases. They've last weekend they did 2 seals, and actually just this month there's been 2 leatherback sea turtles, which are the biggest reptile on the planet with the largest range. They're in all of our oceans. They're in cold waters, warm waters, and 2 of them were rescued from our local waters. They were entangled in fishing gear. And, you know, so the Riverhead Foundation came out, and the rescue coordinators freed them, and hopefully they'll live a long life, you know?
You know, Debbie, I don't know how, if you realize how you have affected my own life. I mean, first of all, not only do I drive a Prius, and I'm working on getting solar panels already, put the down payment,
I know you
cut
are.
the
That's
trees
wonderful.
down. I see any bit of plastic around, it goes into the trunk of my car, and I take it to the supermarket. And I'm telling you, any plastic, even what the bread comes in, I still recycle it. If they don't want it, that's their business. I can't throw plastic
It's
into
a state
there.
law that they have to take back, the certain size, square footage stores and stuff like that, they have to provide for disposal, and they have to keep records, and, you know.
And the other thing is the fishing line. I know I have some in my house in a drawer, because I keep meaning to ask you, is
There-
it still all over the place?
Yeah, there's about 30 of those fishing line recycling receptacles all around town. And it's interesting, I had recently read a grant that our natural resource, not recently, but maybe about a year ago, that our natural resource department was working on for stormwater abatement around Accabonac. And one of the recommendations, I guess they had hired someone to write this plan on stormwater remediation. And in the plan, it had suggested to put one of those fish and line recycling receptacles at one of the locations around Accabonac. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So that people are, you know, I've gotten a few emails from across the country, and, you know, different students and schools asking about it, and, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, and again, it brings awareness. You know,
Yes.
people see it and they go, oh, you know, look at that, it's for fish and line. And then maybe they'll, you know, just think a little bit. And I also have the stickers on there about the Riverhead Foundation, because I thought, like, what a great place. The sticker tells you the 24-hour hotline that people can call if they see a marine animal or sea turtle. So I was able, you know, I got these stickers on all of them around right at the beaches, so it's perfect. And just so you know, if you do spot a sea turtle or marine animal, dead, live, anything, call, because it's knowledge that they gain from knowing what species are in the waters, and, you know, if they're entangled, if they're not, you know, stuff like that. So if you see them, just call, and they'll, you know, they'll take it from there.
So anytime I do see anything, I mean, I look at that fishing line and I say, if I don't take care of this, it will kill some marine animal, because
Or
Debbie
a
told me
land
so.
animal. I mean, I had a little bird in my yard all tangled up in the fishing line, and I was able to free it, you know? So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, you don't know, you know? So it's just good stewards of the planet.
It
you
should
know?
be, absolutely. Yes, well, that's what you are. You are a steward of the planet. I wish we all were stewards of the planet. And you were also very active in writing about Mosquito and all of the
Chemicals.
chemicals that are
Chemicals
used.
that kill mosquitoes and larvae.
Yeah, and it is
I
amazing.
oppose.
Somebody wrote a letter that I read today in the Star about agreeing with you, saying,
Yeah.
whatever makes anybody think that you can put a poison somewhere.
Yeah, it kills. It kills stuff.
Of course.
You know, actually, there's been a few letters in the Star, and I appreciate that. You know, the public, people that I don't know. You know, that are, you know, feeling the need to write a letter. You know, condoning my opposition to.
I wish there was
sprayed all
something.
over our marshes.
I mean, you know, Suffolk County used to come to Fire Island and spray.
Yeah, I'm sure they still do.
And, well, I remember one time when Murray Barbash's son-in-law laid down in the middle of the street.
They'll spray you anyway. Just lay down, they'll spray you.
No, they stopped.
Oh,
They
really?
stopped. They did
Because
stop.
I've had a number of people, fishermen, kayakers, tell me that they've been sprayed. You know, because there's not a lot of good public awareness of when. And the county seems to have a little bit of trouble notifying the public. And that's one of my goals, is to let the public know. If you can't tell them the exact day, you know, say like Tuesday or Wednesday or something. But, you know, they do a press release sometimes. But you're not going to go find this press release and know that they're going to spray and don't bring your kids. I mean, it's just
And of
a
course, we
little-
all know there have been epidemics of West Nile disease, that there are people dropping right and left from West Nile disease.
No, Phyllis,
I
there's
know
not.
I know that.
And I have to
But
tell
we
you,
will drop dead from all the poisons that they're
well,
putting
the
in.
mosquitoes that cause West Nile are not found in the salt marshes. They are found in
know.
our backyards. They're freshwater species. Yes, any mosquito can transmit any disease, no doubt. However, it's not the
Well,
normal.
Isn't one of the
Disease
things that people
transmission.
have to learn to do is to empty standing water?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's so many things. And the town, I've been trying, I'm not the town. I can't do all the things that the town, I believe, should be doing to get rid of the standing water and public education. And there's a program I'd like to bring forward with little fathead minnows. And they are, I believe it's a very simple permitting process through the DEC. The county likes it, and they've done it before, and in other municipalities across New York and the country are very much more aggressive in their mosquito control efforts without using chemicals. And it's a success. So, I mean, we just sitting back and spraying, I mean, I understand disease and I understand all that, but just spraying really isn't, I don't think it's the brightest thing to be doing, And again, these chemicals kill. When these chemicals break down, so some people could say, oh, well, methoprene doesn't do this or that, but the breakdown products of methoprene do harm vertebrates, and they do have mutagenic properties. And it's like, it's not just the chemical, it's when they break down. And, it's
And
just
they
not,
filter into the water, and they filter into the groundwater.
I don't know if we remember, that whole DDT thing, of years ago. The DDT was good for you, and, and all this and that. So I don't know what we're doing as a planet, all this poison, all these chemicals. It's really scary, but I'll try. And I think, I don't think people want poison sprayed in the marshes. And I mean, some people might, but I don't think most people do. But there's got to be alternatives, that's all, or reduction. The county's plan that they wrote in 2007 was to reduce their use of chemicals by 75% over a 10-year period. So here we are 5 or 6 years later. Have they achieved the goals of their plan? Maybe we should ask them, How can we help them achieve their goals?
Well, maybe we need to get Steve Ballone on this show and ask him.
Maybe we should. I send him emails.
Now, speaking about our waters, now you also did a lot about restoring eelgrass.
Mm-hmm.
Now, eelgrass, believe it or not, may not seem like it's connected to that, but it really is in the big picture. All of that stuff is connected.
Everything is connected. We're connected. We're part of nature. We're
I
not
know.
like something outside of it. We're all part of it. And if there's a broken piece,
It's
all hell
called the
breaks
Gaia
loose.
principle.
Well, Gaia, yeah, the hypothesis, that's right.
Yeah.
It's a living, breathing planet Earth.
So what have you done about the eelgrass? What were you doing?
Cornell Cooperative Extension has a program called Marine Meadows, and they come out to different towns, and they weave, in these burlap discs, they weave eelgrass shoots that they harvest from a local area. So for instance, we did Napic, and they harvested some healthy eelgrass shoots. The public came out. Twice we've done it. And the second time, we put in, I think, about 1,000 of these discs, and we've created what will hopefully become larger eelgrass meadows out in the harbor. And eelgrass is important for finfish, shellfish. Eelgrass is also, it takes out carbon dioxide, right? I mean, so we have a carbon problem in our oceans, acidifying the oceans and all that. And also sediment control, so I mean, all these things. So it creates habitat, water quality, it removes nitrogen, just like nitrogen is a fertilizer. So
And nitrogen and urine that goes out through all of our
any
septic
kind of
system.
nitrogen, all nitrates and all that. So the trustees are great. I mean, they all are very, very supportive of all the things that, that I bring forward. And, they're just a great group of trustees.
No, I know you work very well,
We
all
all
of you
work
together.
really well together.
and
I hope
have-
we continue to work well together in 2014 and beyond.
Yes, I'm sure you will, because you all have the same kind of goal,
We do.
which is to care for our beaches.
And we work so hard, and it's a little bit frustrating now and then, but, we do what we can do, and we hope the public likes what we're doing, We meet the second and fourth Tuesday of every month, 6 p.m., Bluff Road, Amagansett. Come on down, check us out. We had one gentleman came, and then he came again, and he told me he could not believe the workload that we have, because, people don't really know what we do or what, but I had asked our secretary the other day, how many applications we've processed this year. Now, last year we processed about 30. This year to date, 26 beaches, 3 on Georgica Pond, 10 in Hog Creek, 1 in Hook Pond, 2 in Nepeg, and 10 in 3 Mile Harbor. And these are all applications dealing with bulkheads or docks or dune rebuilding or, sand fence and beach grass restoration. And I happen to be on the beaches, Hog Creek, and, so, yeah, we've been really, really busy this year. So what is that, like 50, 60 applications? And we're halfway through the year. So, yeah, we've been really, really busy. But we keep up. I mean, we try to get them through, quickly, that they're good applications and, that protects the public right. And that's the other thing. We can't have private property encroaching on public property or removing public property due to whatever, So we're very, very, very mindful of always keeping the public access and the public beaches available for the public, in addition to the private properties' rights to, protect their properties and all that, but it's got to be balanced. And
There was an interesting little tidbit on TV the other night about one particular place in New Jersey where they had the ability to restore the dunes. And they brought the sand in and they planted on the dunes. And one guy had sued because it destroyed his view of the ocean because of the building of the dunes. And
he probably lost.
he did lose.
Yeah.
He did lose. And that town, among all of the towns of New
Was
Jersey,
protected.
was protected and was not
Land
destroyed.
planning is your first defense against,
right.
Mother Nature, if you want to call it defense.
Against the Superstorm Sandy type thing.
There you go. And then, soft solutions work. Shoreline stabilization through beach grass and, sand and, these things work. And you know what? If sometimes they don't, we've been eroding Long Island for 30,000 years. It's been eroding.
That's right.
But we're going to do our best to protect everything, protect the beaches.
I know that my particular area of Fire Island, Lonelyville, where every single...
Lonelyville?
Lonelyville.
I don't want to go there.
Oh, you do.
No.
You do. It's wonderful. And we built our snow fencing every single year. And we
It catches sand. The idea is to catch the sand.
And we planted. I mean, we as a community did it in front of our street all the time.
I recently
And
rebuilt.
in Superstorm Sandy, we were not affected.
Good.
Other
that?
places in Fire Island got hit very
Very
badly.
badly.
But we did
They've
not.
been rebuilding for quite some time. There's a breach out there too that,
I know.
yeah.
Which is not so bad because it's cleaning Great South Bay, which
Yeah.
was not so good. Clean.
Very much not so good.
I know. Great South Bay will.
Yeah.
It is not.
It is
Gardner's-
not East Hampton water, I could tell
It
you
is
that.
not Gardner's Bay
No,
by
it
a
is
long
not.
shot. Being the authority on Gardner's
Yes,
Bay.
you are.
Who
You're like
swims there twice a day
Queen
there.
of the
Yes, indeed.
Flaggy Hall Road.
That's right. So you're also a beekeeper, by the way.
I'm a
What do
beekeeper,
people know
yeah.
that?
I've got a little business called Bonic Bees, and I manage honeybees for a number of clients, actually from Watermill to Montauk. And these people are wonderful. I mean, that they've taken the initiative and the desire first, and then the initiative second, to have honeybees on their property. And you don't get a lot of honey from one hive. You don't get much in the first year. And they're doing it because the bees are in decline across the planet. And,
Absolutely.
And again, let's go right back to pesticides. There's a class of pesticides, neonicotinoids, that are systemic, so it goes through the entire plant. So it's a poison. The plant is poison. And the honeybees, bring back the pollen, and, they gather the nectar and all that. And I see a correlation between the rise of this class of pesticides, the neonicotinoids, and the decline of the bees. They kind of go, I don't know how they go, but together. And there's other things affecting the bee population, but maybe these chemicals are just weakening their immune system. Maybe, I don't know, we don't know really what's going on, but other countries have banned these chemicals, and we're just like, yeah, let's spray more, And
what is amazing about is that most people don't know without honeybees, you're not going to have food.
You won't have much. Yeah, you won't have much. There's 80 of the top 100 food crops are pollinated by honeybees, necessary. Almonds and strawberries, and all these things that we all enjoy eating, are made possible due to honeybees. Now, can we live without honeybees? Sure, you can get, people with toothbrushes and going around and, they do that in some places because they don't have pollinators. And this has been the worst year. 2012 has been the worst year for honeybees. The decline has been, our bees here in East Hampton, the bees I'm taking care of are doing pretty good.
Well, I know that there's some of your bees come over and visit me.
Yeah, they do. They come back, they're like, oh, Phyllis is getting solar panels. I'm like, yeah, they travel about 5 or 6 miles, so,
I know.
yeah.
And when I see them, I say, hello, Debbie's little bee.
Bionic bees.
And tell us about the Peconic Institute, which is another thing you're involved in.
Peconic Institute is I like to call it everyone's new favorite not-for-profit. A fellow past student friend of mine, we went to college together. We went to Stony Brook. And, he always had this idea. And it actually came to fruition to have this connector, this type of not-for-profit that connects lots of entities, helps everyone, is working on sustainability. And people hear sustainability and they have all kinds of ideas. But sustainability is just letting us fulfilling the needs of today while being mindful of the needs of tomorrow. So let's not drink all the water. Let's not, let's make sure that, and let's not pollute the water. Let's be mindful of future generations. And that's pretty much in a nutshell. It's that simple. So, I love shellfish and I love eelgrass and all those things. And I like them because they clean the water. Not only are shellfish good for us to harvest, but shellfish are filter feeders. And they take out the algae that, that the nitrogen helps to fuel. It's a microscopic plant, so you have,
whole cycle.
It's this whole cycle. So why I'm bringing this up is it's exciting in that the Peconic Institute has signed a memo of understanding with the Shinnecock Nation, and we've entered into an agreement with the town of East Hampton to rebuild both of these shellfish hatcheries. So it's, millions of dollars and all this, and we're just waiting for the grant to hopefully come in. And they will be green buildings. They'll be platinum certified, LEED buildings, which is, energy efficient and all that. And there'll be a learning laboratory for others to come and see the new materials that we'd like to use in the construction and economic development, job creation, teaching opportunities, and then the shellfish. And for the Shinnecocks, it's to help them have a source of income. Clean the waters, same thing with the town of East Hampton.
And continue their way of life that they had for years.
Of course, and they've had a lot of problems in Shinnecock, much worse than we've ever had. The Shinnecock Bay, brown tides, red tides, dead zones.
I know.
And they, so if we can, get lots and lots of these filter feeders and lots of seaweeds and stuff like that to clean our waters, maybe we'll be able to
bring them back.
Bring them back, but keep up with the influx of all the nitrates and all that coming from our septics. We have to do something. And shellfish too. Last time I came on your show, I probably talked about a lease in Gardiner's Bay, the Shellfish Aquaculture Lease Program that I was hoping to.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I actually, after almost 2 years, was awarded this 10-acre lease in Gardiner's Bay. And I have to now apply to 5 agencies. I think it's the Army Corps, DEC, county. There's 2 more. Anyway, so I have to, I've been awarded the site, and now I have to put together my proposals to get all these permits. And then I want to farm oysters and clams. The clams, I want to just put out there and let them clean the water or harvest them with scuba, because I want to be really gentle on the method of harvest. But aquaculture is a growing industry, and it's a source of protein, for many, many people across the world. And we used to have a thriving.
Now,
Long Island was like the biggest supplier of scallops in the country at one time.
But don't talk to me about
scallops. So we clean the waters, we make money, we educate the public on the importance of these little primary producers and,
When I used to go
Little
to,
filter
when I
feeders.
first went to Fire Island in 1961, I would go into
I
the
wasn't
bay
even
in
born
Fair
then,
Harbor. Well, I didn't say how old I was. I could have been 8. And there I would watch them skipping along.
Oh, the scallops?
All over.
Yeah.
Oh, they were
Boop,
all
boop,
over.
boop, they
There were
swim. Yeah, they're so cute.
Millions of them. You know, my
Their little blue eyes.
Yes,
They're
I
so
mean,
cute.
it was amazing how many.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they just,
And it was the brown tide,
disappeared.
and
the 80s, killed everything.
yeah.
Well,
But-
I'll tell you one thing, Debbie. I listen to you and I get tired
Oh, gosh.
because
Yeah,
you
people
are
say I talk a lot.
so busy
Yeah.
being all over the place and working so hard and for the benefit of all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope people will realize that and appreciate the fact that you have become a real leader in this area of keeping our earth going.
I appreciate you saying that, Phyllis.
Well, I
That's
mean,
nice.
you know how strongly I feel about that because I am the same way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I won't I have a garden like you have a garden, and
Yep.
I won't put a thing on it,
Save seeds, grow food.
and I won't put anything
Good.
on my grounds at all.
Because we drink our water
I
here
mean,
on
I
Long
don't
Island.
care if so I have brown grass, who cares?
Yeah.
You know,
Plant something other than grass. Try that, an alternative to grass.
I have gotten something recently that I'm going to try.
Good.
But
Deer resistant, drought tolerant, all these kind of things that we can do and that we don't have to pump our
I
landscapes
never
full of
water.
chemicals.
I never water my grass.
Good.
I don't. I can't do that. I'll water gardens, but I will
Yep.
not water
Good.
grass. I mean, as far as I'm concerned.
And that's the thing, is that every single person can make a difference. I mean, if
That's right.
everyone did a little something, we're all in this together, and it's not just like one person doing a lot. And that's
That's
why
right.
with the bees, I felt like, like, not that I could have 1,000 hives, but I felt it was better for me to have 1,000 hives in 1,000 locations than me have 1,000 hives. Well, let's just say 100 will be more realistic.
Well, it's the
You
same
know, to
thing
have
when,
them
when you talk
everywhere. Mm-hmm.
about my solar panels. I'm putting on my solar
That's
panels
wonderful.
so that I can be an example to
Good.
all of my neighbors and
I
say
think
to them.
the town passed, maybe about a year ago, a expedited permitting process for solar panels to help you to not be caught up in any kind of.
You don't even do it. The company does it for you.
Oh, that's good. But
The
I know
company
the
does
town
it
of
for
East
you.
Hampton did something. They passed some kind of local law or something to help it be quicker, to help people.
So between you and I, we will get out there and save the earth. But you got to
Sure.
get elected again.
I'm going
that
to
I
save
know.
it anyway, I hope,
You're
but
off.
I really would love to continue to be a town trustee.
You are.